Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. I appreciate that very, very much. I really, really do. Once again, here we are together, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? And what has gotten into people aside from the devil? Telephone number to call the Uncle Henry Show is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com if you'd like to send me an old-fashioned electronic message. Now, we've got all kind of things to talk about in the Uncle Henry Show today. So many different news items to get to and things to discuss. There was a city council meeting today, and I thought you might like a little bit of coverage of today's Mobile City Council meeting. So let me start off the show with Mobile City Council meeting coverage. I know that one of the most popular public figures on the Gulf Coast is young Mayor Sparrow. Young Mayor Sparrow, he seems to have reached beyond politics, and now people of all ages are appreciating the youthful enthusiasm of young Mayor Sparrow. Let's start off. Here is young Mayor Sparrow. He makes announcements every week when he's there at the council meetings. Let's start off. Here is young Mayor Sparrow talking about the Fantasy Bridge being built. He's still excited and enthusiastic and optimistic about that.
Morning, everyone. Morning. I have to start today by recognizing the incredibly impactful announcement that occurred last week.
Incredibly impactful.
AlDOT announcing that we are officially moving forward with the I-10 Mobile River Bridge and Bayway project. This is truly the largest infrastructure project in our area's history, and it took a great deal of work from every level of government to move this project forward. It's imperative that we start now because, as we all know, costs continue to rise.
And some of us want to live to be able to drive on it. Think about that. Always remember the elderly in all these calculations.
And we are excited about the impact that this bridge will have on our area.
All right, very good. So you heard there the enthusiasm, the optimism from young Mayor Sparrow, captivating the imagination of little school children and senior citizens and everybody in between. Now, he also spoke briefly about the first act. We talked about this yesterday in the first half hour of the Uncle Henry Show, the first act that has been announced for the Regions Arena for next year. Young Mayor Sparrow bringing his youthful enthusiasm and optimism to the Regions Arena announcement.
I do want to draw your attention to an announcement that occurred this week. Regions Arena made an announcement through our partners at OVG that one of our first acts that will be coming to the Mobile Regions Arena, comedian Matt Matthews, is a local Alabama comedian. He'll be performing and slated to take the stage in March of this year. And
It'll be next year, but yes.
And I just encourage you to continue to stay tuned to OVG and Regions Arena announcements. That'll include soon, they'll be announcing the official grand opening show of Regions Arena. I'm very excited for everyone to know about that, and I hope that you will stay tuned and check that out.
Okay, so bringing his trademark enthusiasm and optimism there. Now, the Regions Arena got a chance to invite the general manager of the Regions Arena on the show. Listen at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be talking with the general manager for the Regions Arena, and I'm going to ask him about this Matthews guy. We need to find out, is Styx coming? You know, we had people calling in yesterday about Styx and all these other people. We'll get into that. That is coming up in the 6 o'clock hour of the Uncle Henry Show, the new general manager of the Regions Arena. Very looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. Now, also just a couple of more things from young, optimistic Mayor Sparrow. One of these is, actually, I actually don't have more announcements from young Mayor Sparrow. I thought I did, but I don't. But he was there, and he continued to be optimistic and youthfully enthusiastic about all the things that he talked about. Young Mayor Spiro did mention that there'll be an opportunity if you want to tour the fire station down on Broad Street. They're going to have some kind of an open house Friday evening, so you can take your family to the firehouse and meet the firemen and see the fire trucks and stuff like that. And he also talked about the sales tax holiday that is coming up this weekend. The state of Alabama has a back-to-school sales tax holiday, and Mobile is participating. You can read all the details on that at newsradio710.com. I believe we have all the info at our website on the sales tax holiday, the back-to-school sales tax holiday coming up this weekend. There are 4 categories of back-to-school things exempt from the state sales tax and some local sales tax, and that includes a certain items of clothing, books, and most importantly, computers and computer software purchases. So nice to save some money this weekend. Now, also at the council meeting today, the Mobile City Council had a public hearing on possibly revoking the business license of All Weather Roofing and Construction. And I know you probably have been following this story. All these people have been just horribly ripped off with All the Weather Roofing and your local Window Depot. I want to share with you some of that from today's Mobile City Council meeting, and maybe tell you a little bit about my experiences with All Weather Roofing. Before I get to that, my experiences and other things, here is one of the people that spoke. They had a public hearing, even though many people have come forward to say they've been victimized. This lady is Katie Morrison. Let's hear a little bit of what she had to say at today's city council meeting about All Weather Roofing and how they hope the city revokes the business license.
My name is Katie Morrison. I'm a resident of District 5. I'm one of more than 100 victims who have filed police reports involving Window Depot of Mobile and All Weather Roofing. I'm here today not just for myself, but for all the victims of Mobile. All the families that have trusted these companies with their homes, their savings, and their futures. In December 2025, I contracted with Window Depot of Mobile to replace the windows in my home. Like any responsible homeowner, I researched the company before signing the contract. They carried a nationally recognized brand, had outstanding online reviews, and I paid nearly $10,000 of a deposit up front, which was not out of line with the standard payment from the other quotes that I had received.
Pausing there to point out, you heard her say that she did her research on this place. And up until, I don't know when things went wrong there, but you may remember me doing TV commercials and radio commercials for All Weather Roofing. They had a TV commercial of me hanging off a roof. And they did work for me. They fixed my roof and did an outstanding job. The people that worked there, just fantastic. And yes, glowing online reviews, because at the time, a few years ago, they were doing outstanding work. They were winning NAPPY awards. The readers of Lagniappe were voting for All Weather Roofing, either in the contractor category or the roofing category. I can't remember which ones they were winning, but they were winning nappies for a few years in a row because people really enjoyed the work they were doing. So the lady's right. People did their research, looked pretty good online. But then you heard her say that she put down a deposit of $10,000.
For months, I was told that the project was delayed because of manufacturing issues. I believed them. It wasn't until I contacted another Window Depot in northern Alabama that ultimately then the manufacturer contacted through my attorney that I learned no order had ever been placed in my name. Unfortunately, my story is not unique. Melanie, a young single mother who paid $5,000 for a roof with All Weather Roofing, that was everything she had. She's received nothing and today is still living with leaks in her home and no financial ability to contract another contractor. A 91-year-old widow who paid $6,000 for windows in March at a time when information indicates the company reportedly could not even order windows from their suppliers. She deserved honesty, not false hope. These victims are our parents, grandparents, veterans, retirees, and our neighbors. These are people who spent years saving their money only to see it disappear. This is not simply a collection of unhappy customers. This has affected more than 100 Mobile families who have taken the time to file police reports. The consumer losses we know of now exceed $1 million, and that figure continues to grow. This is not a small business dispute. It is a community crisis.
The community crisis, yeah, and these people, I know you realize this, a lot of people, she already talked about the one woman, a lot of people have a big difficulty absorbing that kind of loss, especially when window purchases can be elective. When you're getting a roof, you need a roof.
A business license is not a right. It is a privilege granted by the city of Mobile. This privilege carries with it an expectation that businesses will deal honestly and fairly with the citizens of this community. Today, you have the opportunity to protect future consumers.
And she goes on, you can watch the meeting on YouTube. There's a lengthy portion there in the meeting about the public hearing for All Weather Roofing getting their license revoked. As I mentioned, they did work for me. They did great work for me. And I did commercials for them. I did TV commercials, radio commercials, of course, billboards. I was on billboards for them. And that was a few years. And then back in 2023, we stopped doing business with All Weather Roofing in your local window depot. And I hope I don't get in hot water for mentioning this, but they just out of the blue stopped paying, that can interrupt some advertising when you stop paying for it. The next year, I started doing radio commercials for a different roofing company in Mobile. And the reason that I immediately started doing radio commercials for a different roofing company in Mobile is because it was a bunch of the same people that I had dealt with at All Weather Roofing. Now, and these people, these were the fantastic people that were getting that their work resulted in good reviews online and getting NAPPY awards and stuff. So it was a lot of the people that I had worked with at All Weather Roofing weren't there anymore. Now, I still don't know what happened. None of the people that left have confided to me as to why they left. But there were numerous top people that left there a couple of years ago. And so it was quite a shock to those of us that had done work with them in the past when this story popped up. I mean, I knew that something had to have gone on to lose they lost some really good people worthy of winning all these awards. Those people left and they had their own company, and I don't know what happened. I have no idea what has happened there at that company. Now, after the people spoke at the meeting, Councilman Ben Reynolds asked the public safety director to talk about what is the status of the police investigation on this. So here is what was said when they were asked for an update.
I can share currently that we are somewhere around 108 victims.
108 victims.
And we are, the last information I received, we were at $910,591, but I hear it's over $1 million now. I'm waiting for an update currently, so hopefully I'll get that information while we're here.
So there is an ongoing criminal
It is.
investigation. Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
All right, and do these people have a business license currently? Do we know that? does All Weather have a current business license?
I'm not aware if their business license is current or not.
Mr. Reynolds, I think there's an existing based on verification from revenue. There's a existing business license for
There's a little Josh Woods action there.
all weather roofing. There's not a current one for the Windows Depot side, but yet they share the same address.
Okay. Also, on this agenda today, the revocation of business license is not on our agenda today for a vote. So I think we're gathering the information here, and then, ideally we'd hear from, the investigators, the people who know how this, they're investigating this for criminality, to see, typically they put it forward. They'll have testimony here at the podium and call a witness and ask them questions, and then we'll make our decision on the revocation of a business license at that point. So
I will share with the council that PD is currently working on this as they were from the very beginning. And we have staff that continue to identify new victims. And this is an ongoing situation that has to be handled delicately due to the nature of what it is. But we stand with the victims, and we are trying our very best to come to a resolution for this on our end as soon as possible.
okay, and just from the city standpoint, you're not going to issue a permit to anybody with an all-weather roofing business license, are we?
I'm not aware of any permits that have come up for us recently for.
All right. So look, they're going to vote next week on this. Hard to imagine them not revoking the license, although I don't know how that all is all going to work. It's rare that the council has these votes. I've been watching council meetings for a long time. I think in the last year or two, there was one nightclub that had their business license revoked, and they went through. I mean, that looked like an open and shut, and they dotted every I and crossed every T. The council does not like to revoke business licenses, but I cannot imagine them not doing it in this case. The horrible, I mean, just you heard some of the examples that the lady was mentioning of people that are losing. For some people, 10 grand is think about how many years it could take them to save it, and then to lose it or more. Just terrible. But still, looking forward to hearing out the rest of the story. What happened there at that business? Because at one time, doing quite well, winning NAPPY awards and getting great online reviews. I had not only did I use them, there were friends of mine that were hiring them. I think I found out about them through Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins. I mean, they were just doing a great job. And then something happened. I don't know what. And maybe if this criminal case continues, maybe we'll find out. But they did not vote today. That will come up, I believe, on the 21st. And no clue on how long the criminal investigation will take. All right, and that was pretty much the Mobile City Council meeting for you today. I'm going to take a time out and then come back with more Uncle Henry's Show as we continue here on News Radio 710 WNTM. This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Going to be going to some news headlines here in just a moment. News headlines coming up in just a moment here on News Radio 710 WNTM, the Uncle Henry Show. Before I go to news headlines, I just got an email, an old-fashioned electronic mail message, an email message. The email reads, "Dear Unc, I hesitated to say anything till now, but my WKRG weather app is still using your likeness on an advertisement for all-weather roofing and Window Depot. Here is a wonderful time-tested meatloaf recipe to make it all better." And that email from Ben Griffin of Foley, Alabama. Ben, thank you. Ben, thank you for your electronic mail message. Thank you for letting me know that your weather app still associates me with that company. That'll give me something new to worry about as the day goes on. And thank you for the meatloaf recipe. By the way, Ben sent me an elaborate meatloaf recipe some time ago, and I don't know if I talked about it on the air or not, but I made it, and it was outstanding. It was a very good meatloaf. So thank you for the previous meatloaf recipe. I don't see a need for additional new meatloaf recipes now that I've had that. I've got yours, and I've got the Lucy Greer meatloaf recipe in her cookbook. So I think I'm done with meatloaf recipes for right now. But thank you very much. And I guess I need to I guess I'll have to download that app just to see if I'm on there. So Ben, thank you. You may have saved me some future problems or future subpoenas. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Ben. All right, let's see. Mentioned that we're going to go to the news break. So, yes, we do have news headlines and then more Uncle Henry Show as we continue here on News Radio 710 WNTM on this magnificent Tuesday. This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. I got other things to get into, but I do have a caller who has been patiently waiting. Hello, caller.
Hey, this is Blind Dog Mike in Point Clear.
Blind Dog Mike in Point Clear. Good to hear from you again.
You got it. I sent you an email, or my wife did, about smart growth policy blueprint that they're going to bring up at the Methodist Church, I think, Thursday night. Fairhope United Methodist Church. They're having a meeting about it, but it's basically, and I'm for smart growth. It's just embedded in this is another shot at the rain tax. It's kind of a Trojan horse for trying to get the rain tax passed, where they start to tax or assess homeowners for non-permeable surfaces like wood, like their roof and driveway and blacktop and this and that and the other. And I can't think of any other place in the state of Alabama where people are trying to assess or tax or do fees for non-permeable surfaces. I just really don't get it. Why where they want to start here?
Right. Yeah, why?
Well, there are a lot of things they want to do about clean water. My deal is you need to start with the municipalities that have sewage systems that are constantly spilling into Mobile Bay. I mean, that's the worst one.
Well, exactly. I agree with that completely. I mean, we can all see, especially Eastern Shore, there's just been tremendous growth. They've got to have that infrastructure has to be improved.
Yeah, and I'm fine with smart growth. Don't get me wrong, and
right.
I'm fine with baykeepers because they're doing some good things. Especially pushing for the power company moving that ash pond away from the place up there on the river. That's a real danger, and that's a big deal. But the other thing that they really need to address is changing the subdivision regulations in Baldwin County, where it's larger lots and where they allow people on 1 acre plus lots to do septic systems. Because a well-designed septic system will filter the sewage, and it won't be another load on the existing sewage systems that are completely overrun. They can't do anything. So subdivision regulations, and then the other part is to just try to improve the whole sewage system.
Exactly.
Start with those two things, and I'll believe it. But going after private landowners on their roofs and driveways and everything else and taxing or assessing fees for non-permeable surfaces is ludicrous. When that last rain tax tried to pass, it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah. And
it lost like 85 against 15% for. I mean, so it looks like they're trying to beat a dead horse into a gallop,
Yeah, well, and by the way, you said your wife sent an email. I've been looking through my email. I can't find it. So please
I will double
ask her to
check
send it again.
Yeah, because it's an interesting thing to read, and don't get me wrong, I like Mobile Baykeepers.
Right.
I'm a big fan of that, and I'm with them on that. But doing a rain tax again and this being a Trojan horse for it, nah, I don't think so.
I'm with you on that.
Okay, buddy, thanks.
Thank you, Blind Dog Mike in Point Clear. Congratulations on being in Point Clear, Blind Dog Mike. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let me go to some voicemail that has come in to the Uncle Henry Show.
Hey, it's Pat and Ellie. Hope you're having a great afternoon. So thankful you recovered from your strep throat.
Thank you.
Strep throat, excuse me. Anyways, listen, I was hearing all these suggestions about the first act at the new arena that we got going on down there in downtown.
Yes.
And I was thinking, man, I sure would like to see Journey. I know everybody. You don't need to tell me. I know they got a new lead singer, but he sounds just like Steve Perry. Anyway, I would love to see Journey. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to mention that because that's going to sound like I'm old and corny. Well, then I look up and see I get an advertisement to purchase tickets to Journey over at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. That's a big arena, bigger than what we're getting. So if they can pack out that, I think that would be a good act for us old people. Anyways, I sure do miss chatting with you on the online thingy. I know you're trying to figure all that out. Walking in here to Planet Fitness, I will be watching on YouTube. So have a great afternoon and roll tide.
Roll Tide. Pat Nelly, thank you for your voicemail, or someone claiming to be Pat Nelly. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. And thank you for taking a look on YouTube. No, because I'm using this new broadcast software, number one is I still don't understand completely how to use it, which is unsettling when you're broadcasting. You usually like to know if you're broadcasting properly. And I don't know. It's brand new to me. And I learn things slow. And for me talking to the people watching on YouTube during commercial breaks, I'm afraid that if I start carrying on conversations during the commercial breaks for the YouTube listeners and viewers, that I will accidentally have that conversation on the radio at the same time as the commercials. And I know that many people enjoy radio bloopers, and they might even enjoy hearing me talking during commercials, but I don't want the advertiser to have their message blocked by me talking during the commercial breaks on the radio. Again, the voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. While I'm going into the voicemail, I got one that I want to make sure I get to. This came in a few days ago, and it's about one of my favorite topics.
Roll Tide, huh? A little football update for you.
Good.
Kid out of Alexander City, Alabama, Benjamin Russell High School. He'll be in the 11th grade when school starts back here in a few weeks. He's already committed to Alabama. Kingston pre-year. They say he's a 4-star, probably going to be a 5-star before it's all said and done. I think now the board's got him about 8 quarterbacks. Ought to be interesting over the next couple of years, at least quarterback-wise. Speaking of our favorite sport and favorite...
Hey, before you continue about our favorite sport, I spend a lot of time looking on the X app, formerly known as Twitter. Now, the X app, their algorithm, the way it's working is if you like something, if you see something on there and you like it, it immediately starts feeding you the same stuff over and over again. Similar stuff over and over again. It doesn't. If you just like something, then you're going to get more of that. And so I liked a video of, it was game highlights from the Alabama Crimson Tide from I don't know when. I think I watched a 6-touchdown performance by Tua on the X app. And now, every time I look at X, I see all kind of Alabama touchdowns. It's wonderful. I like that algorithm, the touchdown algorithm.
Team. They hit the ground for fall practice here in just a little over 3 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks and, 3 days, something like that. I never understood why they call it fall practice. It starts in the dead of summer. I mean, right at the end of July, starting up August. Shoot, they play the first, 3 games or so, maybe even 4. I believe it's 3 this year. They play in summer. Call it summer practice. Or you could call it, if you're going to stick with the fall thing, call it autumn practice.
Thank you.
The correct terminology.
Thank you very much.
All right, Uncle, that's about all I got for you right now. 2:26 p.m. from the front porch. Roll Tide, mister.
Roll Tide, roll, mister. Thank you, 69-year-old Chris of West Loxton, for your voicemail. It excites me to have people talking about football and also to look at 2 or throw touchdowns on the X app. It just remind me that there will be some excitement this autumn, as you put it. All right. Let me take a quick timeout and then more. Uncle Henry Show coming up here on News Radio 710 WNTM. This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in less than 10 minutes. Now, I had a voicemail on the last segment of the show about how someone claiming to be Pat Nelly, a listener, wishing that Journey would come to the new Regions Arena when they have that thing opened up next year. I'm going to ask the GM, I'm going to try to ask him about who are they competing with, or will they be competing for these acts that you've heard at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum or the Wharf? Is that what they're going after? Are they going after the same type of acts? So I'll try to get into that. Coming up after 6 o'clock, I'll be talking with the new general manager of Mobile's Regions Arena here on News Radio 710 WNTM, the Uncle Henry Show. Now, let's see. While I've got just a couple of minutes left in this hour of the show, I got another voicemail I want to get to here.
Andy, this here's Buford. Henry, we're 2 days out before Buford Jr. makes his guitar debut at the Liars Contest at the Fishing Rodeo. Open.
All right, so Buford's son, longtime caller Buford, his son is going to play guitar at the Liars Contest at the Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo. That is this Thursday night. If you've never been out there for the Liars Contest, you should, even if you're not into all the fishing rodeo itself, you should go for the fun. It is so much fun to watch all the stories that they tell at the Liars Contest. And they also have great live music afterwards. They're going to have a band or something afterwards. So just Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo this weekend at Dauphin Island, the Liars Contest Thursday night, and you can see Buford's son play guitar.
You at the Liars Contest at the fishing rodeo, opening it up with the national anthem with his guitar.
National anthem, you know, and Buford, please record it or something and send it to me so I can play it on the show.
Henry, there's quite a buzz about him on the social medias. But Henry, is it the social medias that the girls his age use, like the Snapchatters or the Instagramophones or Instagrammies or whatever that one's called? No, Henry, the buzz is all over the social media platforms of the Cougar class prefer. The group me's and the Facebooks, Henry.
What?
Henry, I've had to double his security detail. The Cougars are starting to circle, Henry. The Cougars are starting to circle. Never in my life did I think I'd have to deal with this with my boy. The girls, yes, but the boy, man. Anyway, Henry, we'll see how it goes. You have a good day.
Buford, please keep us informed. I wish that your son remains pure after all this, that his integrity is not harmed by all the attention from the older women. I hope that he can stay pure and innocent at his age, even though he's now attracting attention, unfortunately, from what you've described as cougars. And again, Buford, if you could send me a recording of that national anthem, or if you'd even like him to come in and play it live one day, I would be honored if you had your son come in here and play the national anthem live on his electric guitar on the Uncle Henry Show. All right, more show coming up. We're going to talk about Regions Arena after the news break coming up on the Uncle Henry Show.